Jorge. Thank you. I'm going to call you in a minute. Go ahead, Mama. When? No, I've only been once. And so I've never been to Busch Gardens, so that's where I want to go. Yeah? Oh, I see a different answer. Why would you want to go to Disney?
Disney has a lot of cool roller coasters.
They do. All right, hands down. Hands down. Gwen, hands down.
And I'm going this because the three is the best because I went to the roller coaster and I was like this.
Yeah, and I haven't been Disney since I was like your guys' age. I was little. All right, last one. Dessert. Ice cream, cookies, or cake. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
You're on.
Oh, I feel like ice cream. I don't know.
Cookies.
Okay, why do you want to do cookies? Why do you like cookies? Gwen's table. Yeah. Friends, remember, red level 1, only speaking if their hands are raised. Please wait your turn. Thank you. Jorge said he likes cookies because they come in a different variety. You guys know the word variety? Variety means there's different choices and you can have it with milk. You're right. Good job. All right. I guess we're going to go over vocab for our book today because we have some words that we may or may not have seen before. Wrinkled. Can everybody say wrinkled? You wrinkle off your face. You wrinkle off your face if you tighten muscles to make folds and lines in your skin. Can everybody squeeze your face together? Can you make a wrinkle? Oh, good job. Oh, you guys are so funny.
How about you do this?
So the baby wrinkles his forehead as he looked around.
How about you do this? Like,
Yeah, so you wrinkle your forehead. Those little lines on your forehead. So well, I only have them right here. Let's see, the baby has them all over his forehead. Frown. Can everybody say frown? Oh, I didn't hear everybody. Frown. Thank you. All right, everybody show me a frown. A frown is a sad or angry look. So you can either frown when you're angry or when you're sad. If you see a frown on someone's face, you can tell that he or she is sad or angry.
I'm done with these.
All right, yank. Can everybody say yank? Yank. You guys know that one?
Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Thank you. Go ahead.
To number
Yank
9.
me.
Number 10 is where you have to write.
Pulling really hard, so when you yank something.
So do these ones.
So for example, I yanked Melody's water bottle off the table. I did it. That tug of war is an example of yanking something. You pull back and forth. Good job. Quiet. I need you quiet unless you're called on, please. Yes, Gwen. You have a sweat. Go for it.
We have to yank when we're playing tug of war.
Good job. That's right. Yank. Drag. Can everybody say drag? Everybody. Ryan, please sit down. Thank you. Drag. I didn't hear everybody. Drag. Thank you. If you drag something, you worked hard to pull it along the ground. For example, Colin dragged the suitcase out of the room.
That's the name of my guest.
For example, Thomas should not be dragging his chair right now. Please sit down, Thomas. Thank you. Yes, Ryan. Huh? Yeah, like pulling something. Yeah, pulling something across the floor. Yes, go ahead.
I dragged my backpack down.
Good job. All right, next one. Hands down.
Colin's the name of my brother.
Really? How funny. Muffled.
Mumble.
Can you say mumble?
Mumble.
Does anybody know what mumble means?
No, I do.
Shh, raise a quiet hand. Go ahead, Preston.
To like talk like really quiet
Okay.
thing when like you like talk really like
Good job. If you mumbled, you spoke quietly, not very clearly. So when I asked you guys a question, you guys were like, did you guys hear what I said? No. You guys have to speak clearly, loudly, so I can hear you, right? Oh, like how we're doing vocab and you guys are mumbling the words and I can't hear you.
Vocabulary.
Nearby. Can everybody say nearby?
Nearby.
Good job. Someone who's nearby is close to where you are. Caleb, who's nearby me?
No one.
Melanie, good job.
I thought no one.
Well, no one to this side, but what about this side? And it's only right here.
My backpack's nearby.
Your backpack is nearby. Good job. Yes, Sully. That's right. The dog is nearby. All right, next one. Excuses. Everybody together. Excuses. Good job. Excuses are reasons why you cannot do something.
cookie jar.
Let me ask you a question. What are some excuses you guys make to not clean up? Ooh, think about that one. Excuses you guys make up to not clean up. Go ahead.
I don't have
Oh, one of her excuses is, why do I have to clean it up if I didn't make the mess? That's true, but you know, sometimes we have to lend a helping hand. Keyshawn, go ahead.
And then onto this, you don't have to do
So
this.
that's your excuse?
Don't
You
do
just blame it on
number
your brother so you don't have to deal with it? I'm not gonna lie, I've done that. I have a lot of sisters that I use as excuses.
I always blame my
Go ahead. Friends, we are quiet unless we are called on, please, and thank you. Yeah, you use excuses with your mom. Good job. Hesitant. Hesitant. Everybody together. Hesitant. Good job. If you are hesitant, you do something slowly because you're not sure about it. Hesitant. What is a moment when you guys were hesitant to do something or try something? Braxton. I cannot hear my friend Braxton. Please quiet down. Oh, you were hesitant to try the rock wall? All right. Go ahead, Howard. Give me a reason for how you were hesitant to do something. Big water slide. I still get a little hesitant with big water slides too. Yes, Sully, go ahead. I've never been. So you're a lot braver than I am. Yeah. Okay. We're doing vocab right now. Can you just put away your markers? Thank you. All right, hands down. All right. So today, like we mentioned, we are learning about retelling a story.
Might have just lost the airdrop.
Yeah. All right, you guys, I made this beautiful poster to share with you guys, okay? Listening ears, please. I know. We're gonna move our conversation down to a level 0. I need you guys quiet so I can sit here and explain this to you guys, okay? Yes, go ahead.
Can you do that?
Yeah, I drew it.
That looks so beautiful.
Oh my goodness, thank you.
I
I did it just for you guys. Do you guys like it?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Huh?
That your hand?
You think that's my hand?
Oh,
Oh, silly.
it does.
Okay.
That looks like a horse.
Let's quiet down. All right, so today we're going to talk about how to retell a story. Like Gwen mentioned, there's a lot of important elements that we need. But one of the biggest things is there's 3 parts to a story. The beginning, the middle, and the end. Within these 3 areas of the story, there are our story elements. Things like the characters, the settings, problem and events, and the solution. And we're going to use something called the 5-finger strategy in order to identify these elements or look for them in the text and help us rewrite our story, okay? So can everybody show me your hand? Your hand. All 5 fingers. All right, our first finger is characters. We are introduced to the characters, or we meet the characters in the beginning of the story. These are the main characters, or the people around them, okay? Then we have the setting. Everybody show me one. Setting. This is where the story takes place. Our problem, 3. Whichever way you guys do 3. 3. This is the problem. We usually find this in the middle of the story. What's wrong? What is the character going through? Then we have the events, things like the beginning, middle, and end. What happens in the beginning of the story? What happens in the middle when we see the problem? And the end when we have the solution. And last, solution. How did we fix the problem? Okay? Yeah? All right. Thomas, where do we find the characters in the story? Looking at the beginning, middle, or the end, where do we find the characters? The beginning, good job. Preston, where do we find the problem? Where do we usually see the problem in the story? Where do we usually find the problem? Where do we usually introduce the problem in the story?
At
The beginning, middle, or end?
middle.
Middle, thank you. If you are not called on, please don't speak out. What about the solution? Raise your hands. Who thinks they know? Go ahead, Adeline. At the end, you guys already know this, huh? You guys already gone over it. I know that. All right. So we're gonna practice together how to retell just a short story, and then afterwards we'll read our story. Okay? All right, quiet. Everyone take a moment and read the small paragraph I have here. All right, we're going to read it together. Ready? Mark was extremely hungry. He was so
when his teacher told his class
to line up and walk
to the cafeteria for
lunch. Miss Apple
the lunchroom
monitor delicious
on his tray. Mark sat down with his classmates and ate his lunch. When he was finished, he threw his trash away.
Good job. All right, we're going to start off by looking for our elements, our 5 elements. Do you guys remember what they are? Okay, what's the first one, Melanie? Okay, you want me to put it back up? I'll have a lot of space. Pick it up right there. Wanted to make sure it's smaller. All right, what's our first element, Melanie? The characters. Who's our main character? Who are we talking about here? Mark. Who's our main character? All right, next, our setting. Who tell me what the setting is? Gwen.
A school, classroom, cafeteria.
The classroom or the cafeteria?
Classroom and cafeteria.
Cafeteria. Okay, good job. So we start at his class and we move to the cafeteria. Good job. What are the events? What happens in the beginning? Does that happen in the beginning or in the middle? In the middle? In the middle, right. We're asking where in the beginning. Go ahead, what happens in the beginning? He was hungry and he was told to line up. So the first thing that he did was line up in the classroom. Good job. And then as he arrived at lunch. What happened in the middle of the story? Then Miss Apple served him lunch. Good job. What happened next? Go ahead. Kareena. No, next. What happens after she scoops delicious food on his tray? Mark sat down with his classmates and ate his lunch. What happened next? After he got his food, what happened next? He sat down to eat lunch. Good job. And last, what happened last? What happened last? Good job. So, as we find our important elements, these will help us in writing our retail, using things like first, then, next, after that, and last. Okay? So like we said, the first thing he did was, no, what was the first thing he did? He was hungry and they were going to lunch, so he lined up. Good job. So first, Mark, line up for lunch. Thank you. Then, what happened then? Go ahead. So Miss Apple serves Mark lunch. Next, what happened next? Go ahead. Good job. Next, Mark sat down and ate his lunch. Good job. You guys are doing pretty good at this. After that, what did he do? Or actually, next Mark sat down, and then after that, he ate his lunch. Sorry about that, you guys. So Mark sat down, and after that, he ate his lunch. And what happened last? Go ahead. After we're going to move on to read our story, but after we read our story, we're going to work on something like this. You guys we're going to work together to complete a 5-finger retell like the one we did. We're going to identify the characters, the setting, the problem, and afterwards you guys are going to write your own retell. Okay? Okay? Okay. Thank you. Caleb, can you get the lights, please?
See me.
As we move to the carpet, remember, levels are at 0. When we are sitting on the carpet, crisscross applesauce, hands to yourself, and quiet, please. If you want to share, make your quiet connections unless you raise your hand and I call on you, okay? For your whole group, stay in your circles, sitting and listening. All right, Melanie's table, go ahead and find a circle. Push in your chair. Thank you. Or his table. Make a circle and sit down, please.
Your chair. Chair.
Please remember to tuck in your chair and use your walking feet, please. Thomas. I'm just waiting on you, buddy. That's all right. Hey, love. No, thank you. Find a circle and sit down. Okay, Melanie. I'll get to her. Gwen's table, go ahead. Your Ryan's table, go ahead. Walk your feet, push in your chairs. Okay? Choose a circle and sit down. Thank you. Liliana, go choose a circle, please.
Go ahead and choose a circle, Thomas.
Close. Pick a circle. Liliana, por favor. Thank you. Quiet. Thank you. I like how Gwen is sitting and Adeline. Thank you so much for sitting quietly. All right. So what we're reading today is called Pepita and the Bully. Okay, you guys? Pepita and the Bully. That's right.
That's in our my book.
It is one of our my books, I know, but I decided to read it together with you guys. Pepita, that's right. There are going to be a couple of Spanish words. Yes. Yeah. All right, remember to make it quiet connections, okay? Quiet connections. Thank you. Preston, Caleb, eyes up front. Thank you. Pepita waved goodbye to the bus driver. She raced down Pepper Street, her black braids bouncing behind her. She was in a hurry to get home and talk to Mama. She wanted to tell her that 3 days in the new school were enough. She did not want to go there again. Pepita's face wrinkled up into a big frown. She was sorry because she really liked Miss Chu, her teacher. Miss Chu had black eyes and a soft, sunny smile. Pepita also liked her classroom with bright bulletin boards and cut-out red letters that said, "Welcome to a new school year." She especially liked the playground with its tall, shady tree and benches. But she did not like Babette. She had brown hair, blue eyes, and skin that looked like peach ice cream. She was not nice. All right, just a couple of pages. Have you met our characters yet, or at least one of them? Yes, good job. Raising your hands nice and quietly, let me know who the main character is. Main character. Yes, one. Pepita, good job. All right, who are some of the other characters we've heard about? Yes, Olive. Miss Chu. Miss Chu is her teacher. Good job, Preston. Thank you. Okay, what do you think Pepita likes about school? Because she doesn't want to go back, but she seems to like something about school. What does she like? Yes, Preston. The playground. Good job. What about the playground? Ben, good job. That's using evidence. Using evidence to back up what she's saying. All right, Pepita's frown grew bigger when she remembered her first day of school. She had gone up to Babette and said, "Hello, my name is Pepita." "What's yours?" "Pepita." "Yuck," Babette said. "That's not a name. That's nothing but a noise." Pepita felt her face grow hot. She was angry. "It is so a name," she said. "It is mine." Babette just turned and walked away. On the second day, Miss Chu asked her students to talk about their favorite things. Pepita told them her dog Lobo could understand Spanish. At recess, Babette said, "I'll bet your dog has fleas." Pepita felt her face go hot. She was angry. "He does not," she cried. Babette just turned and walked away. How do you think Babette makes Pepita feel? Raise your hand. That's your Ryan. Math. Why do you think? What in the text, what kind of details or evidence in the text tells you that she's mad?
Kind of like mad and angry.
Mad and angry, but what in the text? What in the text shows or tells you that she's mad or angry? Listen, Pepita felt her face grow hot. She was angry. "He does not," she cried.
It's because someone doesn't know that you made it. Her name is
She feels furious. She feels her face get hot, right? Exactly. Good job. Why do you guys think Babette turns and walks away then? Great. She's saying all this mean stuff to her, right? But then she just walks away. Why do you think she might just walk away before Babette says something back or Pepita says something back? Oh, you think Babette's a big bad bully? Well, I think it sounds like it, right? She's not being very nice to Pepita. But maybe she walks away because she doesn't want Pepita to say something mean back to her, right? So she says something mean to her and then walks away so she can't say anything back, right? Good job.
That's one of those skills we learned about too in the text we read last week, where it had the steps on how to solve a disagreement. Walking away was one of those strategies.
Good job, yeah. So strategies that we're learning right through through these books, how to strategize and how to resolve our conflicts with our friends, right? Sometimes we don't need to say something back. Sometimes we can just take a deep breath and walk away, right? Good job. And today was even worse. Babette yanked her braids and said, "Your braids look like two raggedy ropes. You should cut them off." Pepita felt her face grow hot. She was really angry. "They are not ropes," she cried. "They're braids, and if you pull them again, I'll tell Miss Chu." Miss Chu, that's the teacher's name. Babette yelled, "Tattletale, tattletale," and turned and walked away. Pepita was glad when the school day was over. Yes, she thought as she raced home. 3 days are enough. I don't want to go to that school again. In the middle of the block, Pepita saw Miss Green digging in her garden. "Hello, Miss Green," she said. "Can I ask you something? Do you think my name is funny?" "Why no, Pepita," Miss Green said. Green answered. "Your name has a very lovely sound. It reminds me of a bright little flowers." Pepita nodded and smiled. "That's nice," she said. "Thank you, Miss Green." A few houses down the block, Pepita saw Jose, the mailman, stepping out of his truck. "Hello, Senor Jose," she said, as she called. "Can I ask you something? Do you think Lobo understands Spanish?" "Why, yes, Pepita, I do," the mailman answered. "I told him to sit, and when he did, I said, 'Buen perrito,' good little dog." And he wagged and wagged his tail. Of course he understands Spanish. Pepita nodded and smiled. "I thought so too," she said. "Thank you, Senor Jose." Senor Jose.
My dad is actually named Jose.
Yeah, your dad's name is Jose too? I love that.
My name in Spanish is Jose.
Yeah. All right. Make your quiet connections. Thank you. When Pepita was near her own house, she saw Miss Becker standing by her easel, painting a pot of red geraniums. "Hello, Mrs. Becker," she said. "Can I ask you something? Do you think my braids look like raggedy ropes?" "Why no, Pepita," Miss Becker answered. "Your braids are very lovely. They remind me of black satin ribbons shining in the sun." Pepita nodded and smiled. "That's nice," she said. "Thank you, Mrs. Becker." Yes, Holly.
I think was gonna tell the Julie about the nice things.
You think so? That's a good prediction. All right. So, as Pepita is on her way home, she's asking her neighbors about all the different things that Babette has said to her, right? So we can practice retelling these events or these visits from each neighbor, right? So what happens with Miss Green? Remember? What did she stop to ask Miss Green yesterday?
Her name is
Good job. So she stops to talk to Miss Green, and when she asks her about her name, right? Because Babette told her her name sounds like a noise. And so she stops by Miss Green and asks her if her name sounds like noise. And you're right, Miss Green says no, it sounds like noise. Good job. Thomas. Hi, Thomas. What does Evita ask Senor Jose when she stops by his house or by the mailman? Remember what she asks about?
Yes.
Yeah, good job. So she asks, remember she tells Babette that Lobo speaks Spanish or he understands Spanish. And she's like, no, he probably has fleas, right? That's what she told him. And you're right, Thomas, she stopped by the mailman and asks, does he think that Lobo, the dog, knows Spanish? And does the mailman agree or disagree? Agree. Good job. And what's our last stop, Sully? Where's the last place she stopped, or what neighbor did she stop at last? asks about her braids. And Miss Becker tells her that they look like beautiful black ribbon. Good job, you guys. Let's move on. When Pepita gets home, she found her mother in the kitchen. Mama, she said, I can't go back to school again. Why, Mama asked. I thought you liked your new school. So did I, Pepita said, until I talked to Babette. And who's Babette, Mama asked. Babette is a bully, Pepita said. She's mean to me, Mama, and I'm not going back to school. No, Mama said, that cannot be. School is important, but let's see what Papa says. At supper that night, Pepita told her family what Babette had said to her. She says my name is nothing but noise, that Lobo has fleas and that my braids are raggedy ropes, and she yanked them. That's why I'm not going back to school. I see, Papa said, but you have to go to school. So tomorrow, if Babette yanks your braids again, you must tell your teacher. If Babette says mean things to you, either you can answer her politely or you can walk away. But whatever you do, you must be kind. Kind, Pepita asked? Is that like nice? Papa nodded. Yes, nice will do. Pepita's brother Juan said, just don't fight with her. Bullies like fights. All right, thinking back to the ideas you read and working with others. What advice do you think the author, or what advice would you give Pepita about how to respond to Babette's behavior? Papa already gave us a couple of good ideas, right? What were some of those ideas? Ishan, what were some of those ideas that Papa gave Pepita about how to deal with Babette? Don't fight, good job. What are some other ones? Or hey, what are some other ones that Papa told Pepita how to deal with the bully? Remember?
Like to walk away and think for a minute and then tell the teacher.
That's a great strategy. You can walk away, take some time. You don't always have to say something back, right? Yeah. And what if you need help? Do you start yelling or fighting, or do you get the teacher to help you? You get the teacher to help you, right? Because that's what we're here for. We're here to help you guys. Go ahead, Kareena.
Also, the brothers say that they like to fight. They like to, but yeah. But I also want to ask because you can also maybe they you just talk to it, not like leave him alone for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Like to not get to not be with him to stay in the school and the bullies staying on the place with their friends.
Yeah, you're right. You don't always have to interact with that person. You don't always have to go up to them and bother them, right? That person might bother you, but that doesn't mean you have to do it back. You can learn to walk away or to maybe talk to them so they can stop, right? That's a good idea. Yes, Preston.
2 wrongs don't make a right.
That's a good one. You're right. 2 wrongs don't make a right. Thank you for sharing. Okay, let's go back to what are some advice you guys would give Pepita on how to deal with this? Adeline, what are some ways that you would get, or some ideas you would give Pepita on how to deal with this bully? And we already talked about talking to the person, right? How would you talk to them? How would you talk to your friend about them bullying you? Would you start yelling or talking mean? No, right? How would you talk to someone who's being mean to you or who's bothering you? If you're not being mean, how would you act? How would you talk to them? That's right. So be kind, be polite. You don't have to be like. So let's say somebody accidentally elbowed you at the desk. Would you be like, don't touch me? No, right? That's not very nice. How would you ask for someone to be careful and not to bump you? That's great. See, please don't touch me, or please be careful. Thank you. That's great.
Next time don't
Yes, good job. It's about being polite, being nice, because if you're mean back, then it becomes a bigger problem, right? Yeah.
Or you can just move schools.
We don't move schools. Do you want to move away from all your friends just because one person's being mean?
What if
No.
you don't have friends?
We all have friends. We're all friends. So, we're gonna get back to the story. I promise you she does. Listen, we gotta get back to the story. In bed, Pepita tossed and turned and tumbled until her blankets were in a tangle. She dragged her doll Dora out from under the blanket and placed her against the pillow. Dora, she said, tomorrow Babette will say mean things to her. Dora's face looked sad. Pepita sat up straight and punched the pillow. What if she tries to hit me? Dora disappeared under the blankets. Pepita pulled her out again. Don't worry, Dora, she said. I'll think of something. Dora huddled close and they snuggled together and fell asleep. In the morning, Pepita got out of bed slowly. She dressed slowly, she ate breakfast slowly, she twisted and turned and muttered and mumbled while Mama brushed and braided her hair. No matter what Pepita did, nothing slowed down the clock. It was time to go to school. Mama, Pepita complained, 3 days are enough. Mama said, school is important, and if you don't hurry, you'll be late. Okay. So Pepita's getting ready for school really slowly, right? She's eating breakfast slowly. Everything's taking a lot of time. Why do you think she's taking the time? Devani? It's good. She's avoiding school, right? She doesn't want to go, so she's taking her time. She's trying to make herself late. Good job. Yes, Diana.
Maybe she's eating slowly and getting just done. Because maybe school is maybe she's taking slowly because to get the school faster, and then when the school is done, she goes and then she's done. She stays home.
That's right. She's eating slowly, so she's late, like Giovanni said, and then she's trying to hurry out, right? Like how she hurried out of the school and talked to the neighbors because she wants to get away from school. She doesn't want to be at school because Babette is mean for her. So Pepita went to school, and her classroom was sunny and bright. Her teacher smiled at her, but across the room, Babette wrinkled up her nose and made an ugly face. At recess, Mindy asked Pepita to play hopscotch. Pepita was about to say yes, but she saw Babette standing nearby. She gave Mindy a friendly wave, went to the farthest corner of the playground, and sat under the shady tree. Babette was right behind her. That's my bench, Babette said. I don't like you sitting there. Pepita stood up. What do you like, she asked, and started to walk away. I don't like you for sure, Babette said.
Oh,
Man.
Wait until she tells
Listen, yeah, she is talking about it.
the teacher.
Well, listen, we gotta figure out what she does, because maybe she chooses to talk to her, maybe she chooses to get help. They are together, so let's see what happens. Pepita felt her face grow hot. She was angry. She stopped and turned. Maybe you don't like anything at all, she called. Maybe you don't even like your name. Maybe you don't even like yourself. And I'll bet you don't even have a dog. All right, hold on. You aren't nice, Babette said, and a tear rolled down her cheek. You aren't nice at all.
where's the teacher?
But you can't see this picture. It's right there.
Let me see.
See? Yeah. She's sad, right? Because the people was mean to her back.
And her dad said, don't be mean.
Or your brother.
All right, sit back down. Just tell me.
But someone said.
All right, listen.
She's disrespecting the dad because she said don't do anything mean.
That's right. She's not taking her dad or her brother's advice.
She can't control herself.
Circle. Pepita's mouth dropped wide open. Her brother had told her not to fight. Papa had told her to be kind. And look what she had done. Babette was crying. Most times I'm nice, Pepita said, and I'm polite too. But you say mean things. Maybe if you stop being mean, somebody would ask you to play too. I wouldn't play if you were playing because I don't like your break, Babette said. See, you're being mean. I wouldn't play if you were playing because you have a funny name, Babette said. You're just being mean again. Anyway, Pepita's who I am.
And the book said that I said.
But I might play, Babette said, if... Stop making excuses, Pepita said. Do you want to play or don't you? Babette bit her lip, sniffed, and gave a hesitant little nod. Okay, Pepita said, but you'd better blow your nose. She handed Babette a tissue from her pocket. Then she swung around and raced toward the center of the yard. Wait, Mindy, wait for us. Babette and I want to play. Ryan?
Now they're friends. They're getting along. Not their friends.
All right, so in your own words, ready? I want you guys to retell or tell me again in your own words what Pepita did to stand up to Bebe. Kayla. She started by saying mean stuff to her, right? Was that the best way to solve that problem? No. And she realized that, right? She realized that she was mean to her. So what did she do to change that? Go ahead.
She decided to be nice for the stuff that they were talking about and makes it even more good and friendly.
Yeah. So she was nice and they talked it out, right? She said, you know, you should stop being mean. There was no reason to be mean to her. And that if she wanted to play, they could play together, right?
Every time I learned if you're being mean, something's going on wrong with your life.
That's true. Sometimes there's something else going on. In this situation, I think Babette just wanted a friend to play with, right? Yeah, go ahead, Mariana.
Why didn't she ask? And, yeah.
Because sometimes it's just a little hard. Some people don't want to just ask. So they're mean to you or they pick on you.
I know.
And it's because they're struggling to ask you to just simply be nice and ask.
And then she can't hold herself.
Mhm.
She was so mean that she got angrier. She just can't hold it, her words that she had to say to her. So when the dad said, do not fight, don't argue, and the brother said they like to fight. She just respect, because she couldn't hold it, she was so mean. Now, she couldn't hold it, but the time that she said it.
When she finally had something to say, she kind of got too angry, right?
The girl got so sad that she said, maybe you're right, that I should be nicer because
Well, yeah. But then she finally realized, right, that was nice. And she should be nice back, right?
So,
It's easy.
to not argue, but
It shows how important it is to sometimes just talk. Sometimes use your words kindly and politely. And you might be able to resolve a problem, right? Instead of just fighting back and forth with each other.
to not hurt yourself, to not fight back, because if you talk back,
Yeah.
then you send in more trouble.
That's right. All right. We're gonna move back to our desks. If you are on a yellow dot, go back to your desk. Yellow. Green, go ahead. Walk and cheat. Orange.
Huh?
What is the color of the blue?
Where's the blood?
Blue. If I haven't called your color, go ahead and sit down.
She didn't say dark blue.
That's what I just said. Listen. If I didn't call your color, go ahead, get up and sit down.
But they said dark. Hey, it's a blue.
What's going on? Had a lot of trouble sitting on that carpet today.
All right. So together, we're gonna fill out our 5-finger veto, just a quick little piece of paper to help us identify the story elements to be solved, okay? So take out a pencil.
Look for that. Don't you just look for that on like Google? Good one. I like the what went wrong. The problem.
The other one's the one I have to make myself because I couldn't find one. Sorry. All right, back to Champ Ford. We'll move back to level 1. Only talking if you raise your hand or if you're called on, okay? Or if we're sharing together. We are working together as a whole group. Stay in your seat, sitting, listening, participating, and engaging. Okie dokie? Okie dokie. All right. Looking back at Pepita and the bully, the story we read, what was the setting? Adeline, what was the setting? Where did the majority of the story take place? Is she at home? school, right? Well, a big part of the story happened where? At school, right? So our setting was school. We're gonna write school. Well, some of it happened at home, but a lot of the story happened at school. So we're gonna make that our main setting, okay? School. Do I need to write it bigger? No. I was like, I can write bigger, but like, I only have so much space. Yes.
I thought school was two L's.
Two O's. School.
Cool. Yeah, and setting is also a
That's right. Who were our characters, our main characters? We had our other characters like Mama, Papa. There's only, good job. Raise your hand. Okay, see, who are our two main characters? The who? What kids? Rita? And who else? There's one more. Savannah, who's our other main character? Huh? Babette? Babette. You got Pepita and Babette. These are some pretty unique names, huh?
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Pepita and Babette. Did you say it in English? Pepita and Babette. Or in Spanish, like Joanna said, Pepita and Babette. Okay, next, we're going to identify the problem. What was the problem in the story? Yes, Caleb? Babette was being mean to...
This is easy.
I know, isn't it? It's only easy because you guys already know it. You guys are so smart. Caleb, you said Babette was being mean to... Oh, no, thank you. Don't forget your period. So, some of the events that happened in the beginning, middle, and end. Let's take a minute. You guys can draw a small picture of what happened at the beginning, what happened in the middle, what happened at the end, okay? Let me give you a minute. I know. Write your sentence. That's okay. I know I should have made the box a little bigger. So just draw a small little picture about something that happened in the beginning, something that happened in the middle, and something at the end. But I know we don't have a lot of space to write, so we're just going to draw a small picture. Yes, one. No, but you can write a word or two. I just know the box is a little small, so I don't want to. Well, you got to remember. Remember so we can retell what happened in the beginning. Pepita didn't want to go to school, right? Zoe? I was showing you guys and it was taking time. But the beginning, what happens at the beginning? Yes. Yeah, in the beginning, we learned that Pepita didn't want to go to school, right? And we learned in the middle of the story. So we learned in the middle of the story why she didn't want to go to school, right? Because Babette was bullying her and calling her names, right? And then what happens at the end? Yes, go ahead. That's right, Pepita was mean to Babette first, right? And then she was like, oh, that was not nice. They talked about it, right? They resolved their problem, they fixed it, and they were able to play together. So that was our solution. Good job, that's what happened at the end. solution? Right there at the bottom. You have time, Sully. You have time. And these is first one. Why is it on the floor? I don't know whose it is, but it's on the floor. Huh? You guys talk to the man and they play together. All right, wrap it up. Yes. What happened in the middle? She talked to Mama, she talked to her neighbors, right? She was trying to figure out how to fix that one, right? All right.
Really good.
Wrap up your 5-finger retail while I pass out another worksheet. Done. Wait for instructions and directions or you won't know what to do. Pretty self-explanatory, but I still want to explain it to you guys, okay? Please make sure to write your name on your 5-finger retail, please, because I'm going to collect them. Make sure you write your name on. I'll try to minute. All right, are we wrapped? Yes.
No.
Okay. We're gonna have a couple more minutes. We gotta wrap up. It was okay. Thomas, this is just a practice. We're gonna move on to the real thing. Okay, you're fine. Quickly, please. Next time, raise your hand. Thank you. I'm not raising the bottom. Hurry. Doesn't matter if we didn't finish. That's okay. If you're wrapping up your 5-finger retail, go ahead. For my other friend, you can go ahead and start on the next worksheet. The next worksheet, you're going to draw what happened in the beginning of Pepita, what happened in the middle, and what happened at the end. You already sort of practiced on your 5-finger retail, right? Afterwards, on your retail, you're going to tell me what happened in the story in your own words, okay? One more time, listen. Your title is Pepita and the Bully. Yes, Pepita and the Bully. You are going to write your name and the date at the top of the paper. You already practiced. Draw a picture of what happened in the beginning, the middle, and the end. Okay? After you draw your pictures, or before you draw your pictures, whichever one you want to do first, whatever works best for you. Start with the pictures, start with the retail. Using what we practiced earlier, the first, then, next, after that. You can use this, or you can use it all in your own words. Write and tell me what happened in the story, okay? Yes? No, that's for your picture. You can draw a picture, like you did for the 5-finger retail. And then you're going to write your retail. So draw what happened, beginning, middle, and write your retail. You don't copy, there's nothing to copy. The other one was practice. You're writing the retail in your own words, like we did earlier. You can use the first, then, next, after that to help guide you, or you can do it all in your own words, okay? Just tell me what happened. You can tell me, okay, in the beginning of the story, Bebe was bullying Pepita, right? And then you tell me what happened in the middle, what happened at the end, okay? That's right, you can use that. That's why we practice, you see? Oh, wrong one. Yeah?
need to keep it in my mind, but I can't.
All right. All right, we're moving to a 0. You should be working quietly and independently, okay? I'm going to go around and collect your 5-finger retail. It's okay, Sully. It's okay. I'm gonna take my time, Sully. I'm not in a rush. Are you in a rush? I'm not in a rush, Sully. All right, we have to go to specials, but when we come back, you can finish your retail, okay? I can. You want to go on a field trip?
Yeah.